Hi, I just wanted to do a little life update and also how I continue to use brain retraining and the mental tools and breathwork and cold therapy to continue furthering my life in the ways that I want to grow and continue moving forward in my life. And this, first, I'll just give a little update and then go into how I use those tools. So, first, this has been a really challenging year. Both of my grandmas passed this winter. Something with another very close family member happened, and that has been very sad and trying for me and the family. And I was living in the mountains, and something happened with the roommate I was living with, and it wasn't a place that was safe, and I needed to move out of there suddenly. And so there was a lot of shifts that happened, and a lot of things that were testing me constantly. I just got out of a spin class, and it was my first spin class, and it was very interesting because the class was, when I first went in, this is going to be talking about a lot of sensory processing things right here, so things that I no way would have been able to withstand before. One thing was that as I walked in, there was ceiling fans that were going, and above them were lights. So if you have any sensory processing issues, you may know that that creates a serious flash, or anybody that has seizures will know that that could set things off. There were also disco ball lights on the ceiling that were also creating constant light movement, highly overstimulating. There were people next to me that were wearing deodorants or perfumes or whatever it was that were toxic and full of chemicals, which I absolutely would not have been able to tolerate. And there was by the end of the class, I actually realized that there was a toxic candle burning, which is what I kept smelling the whole class, super prominently. And I'm just like, wow, somebody's perfume or whatever was really strong. I didn't like the smells, but I wasn't having severe reactions to them with breathing, or mostly for me, it was breaking out in rashes, and my mouth would start peeling and my nose would start peeling inside. It was pretty severe. And yeah, it was pretty incredible to be in that class and be like, well, I choose not to create that environment at my own home, but if I'm in a place where somebody else has done so, then it's not going to be like a no-go for me to be in that space. And I can do it for an hour. And there was also very loud music playing the whole time. And so this year, I also was in Hawaii for 5 weeks doing work trade, which was totally throwing me out of my environment that I was used to, and living off grid on 2 different sustainable farms. And there are challenges and just new experiences in that, things that I was just kind of discovering how to maneuver all that and do it all. And then I was in Mexico for 3 weeks. It was the first time I traveled out of the country on my own, and I was there for yoga teacher training, which that in itself, yoga teacher training was a big, challenging, really intense thing, because it was a quick 15-day course where you do the whole thing. So it was 14-hour days. We did 1 day off, so it was very intense. But all super grateful and incredibly thankful for all of that. Never would have thought I would be there 5-6 years ago. So just here to say that it is definitely possible to do that. And I used my brain retraining to and my breath work and just the mental tools to just continue to get through this. A lot of manifestation techniques, a lot of affirmations, a lot of just mental strength in knowing that I have done what I thought was the impossible at one point in time, of creating an entire new body essentially, and pulling myself out of near death and to becoming a whitewater raft guide, and living off grid and doing all these amazing things, and to just continuing that. I know that healing is not something that ever ends. We're always going to be pushing ourselves. We're always going to be challenging ourselves. And if it's not one thing, we're going to be challenging ourselves with another thing. And it's all mind, body, spirit, always. It's all together. And there are little challenges that come up, in all of those areas that continue to happen. And they test my patience. They test everybody's. And, yeah, I also had some heartbreak recently, and there's been a lot going on. All of these things are like the human experience, and just creating a space where I give myself grace to move through these things and know that I'm super freaking powerful, and so are you. Every single one of us are like more powerful than we ever could imagine, and that we can pull ourselves through all of these things. I use my manifestation techniques, my visualizations from brain retraining, my scripting, scripting my future and putting that into play, and I did that to heal out of my sickness, and I'm continuing to do that. Right now, it's a lot of scripting, a lot of constantly catching myself in the thought patterns of old behaviors that are no longer concerning me, or no longer serving me. They have been concerning me. They're not serving me, and that was something when people ask me, like, how did I do this? How did I actually get myself out of everything? Well, of course, like through all of my brain retraining for getting myself out of chronic Lyme disease, toxic mold, POTS, sensory processing disorders, the whole gamut of things. It was catching those thoughts absolutely constantly, because where energy goes, energy flows. And so if I'm thinking of things that aren't serving me, and I find myself in these old thought patterns, like that's where my focus is going. So I catch them immediately and I say, no, I'm not gonna, nope, stop. And then I go into, okay, this is what I'm going for. These are the feelings I'm having. And even going through heartbreak, like catching myself and finding the joy, in it. Even at this like spin class I was at, it's really hard, and finding the joy in the moment and laughing. Like there was, I'd never heard this before. There was like a mashup between a Snoop Dogg song and Grease, and it was hilarious because it was like the Grease song singing, and then it's all of a sudden like Snoop Dogg. I was just like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So I find myself laughing, as I'm like going through this really hard stuff. And those were the things that like I started having happen when I was first really sick. And I didn't even smile. I didn't laugh when I was really sick. Like I actually like had to force myself to smile. And I remember at one point in time that I literally couldn't remember the last time that I had laughed. And when I first laughed the first like few months, it felt entirely fake. Like every single time I had to retrain myself to laugh. And then I just like somehow got into it and just started laughing and giggling all the time. And I just totally changed my personality, my perception on life, absolutely everything. And it's really catching those moments like throughout the day, constantly throughout the day. I remember it being so tired when I first started brain retraining. At least now, this time around, manifesting the things I'm manifesting now, I understand like what I did last time and how I caught those things throughout the day. Because it's one thing in the morning to listen to your affirmations, do your meditation, do your futurization, do your breath work. But then like when those things are over, you have the whole rest of the day. And like throughout the day, it's like continuously catching those things. And and saying, oh my God, I'm doing it again. And it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. That's something, it's like, it's just, no, it's okay. I was there, I'm just going to switch this to something else. And it's like how do I even do that at first? And you have to find something to switch you into it, whether it's music, whether it's watching a funny video, something on TikTok, whatever it is for you, calling a friend, petting your animal, like whatever, like makes you feel happy, going and standing outside and putting your toes in the grass, like literally anything to shift. And cold therapy was something that helped me shift. Breath work was something that helped me shift, and get out of that space when things felt really bad and really hard. I don't want to make this video too long, but I just kind of wanted to give a little update and say that, even when things feel really hard and really daunting, like the tremendous amount of grief that I went through this winter, and it brought up a lot. My dad passed away 2.5 years ago as well, so it brought up a lot for that as well, with both my grandmas passing. And even when things feel really hard and like you can't feel like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It does start to get brighter again. And even when there's a lot of pain, like creating some kind of joy, because that those people that have passed are people in your life, that are still here on earth with us. They want us to be happy, and you deserve it. You absolutely deserve to be happy. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. But I hope that's a good explanation of kind of a little update and how I use brain retraining and my other techniques now in my life, still today, every day. Well, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Tell me what stood out to you the most in this video. If you'd like me to make videos on further things, please do that. This was actually a request for me to talk about how I use traveling, and I kind of covered that. I think let me know if I answered your question on that. But you know who you are. Yeah. All right, I'm on Instagram at kimbers.new.frequency. You can message me there as well. And feel free to check out my website if you want to see some more stuff that I'm up to at kimberlyharder.com. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.